Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I decided to do an impromptu live because a lot has been on my mind and on my heart recently with everything that's been happening. And I, I just had to speak my piece, speak my truth. And so I wanted to come on here and share and do a reading, an impromptu reading. I've actually been wanting to read for the United States of America um, over the last month or so. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And I think it feels appropriate considering yesterday was the 4th of July and there's been a lot of conversation about freedom, the concept of freedom and independence, and what that truly means. And is is there an authentic meaning, a clear definition? Does freedom for one group of people apply to all? And if so, how can we have how can we currently be in the state of which this country is with all of the people who are oppressed and still celebrate freedom on a day like yesterday? So, before we get into it, I'm just going to clear the energy with some sage. I thought I had a wooden. Oh, here it is. With some sage. Come on, baby, light my fire. All right, with some sage. So just cleanse this space of negative energy and low vibrations that no longer serve my highest good. And I'm going to call in protection as well. Okay. I wish I had a match. I don't have a proper match, so I'm just going to use a lighter because lighting the wooden stick isn't working. All right. Protect me from negative energy and low vibrations that no longer serve my highest good. Protect me from negative energy and low vibrations that no longer serve my highest good. And cleanse this space of negative energy and low vibrations. Cleanse this deck of negative energy and low vibrations. Yeah. Cleanse this deck of negative energy and low vibrations. And then I'm gonna call for some positive energy because we could all use some positive energy right about now. So I'm just gonna light some Palo Santo. Bless me with abundance, positive energy, and vibrations to serve my highest good. Bless me with abundance, positive energy, and high vibrations to serve my highest good. Bless me with abundance, positive energy, and high vibrations to serve my highest good. And bless this space with abundance, positive energy, and high vibrations to serve my highest good. I'll send you guys some abundance, positive energy, and high vibrations, and bless this deck with abundance, positive energy, and high vibrations. Bless this deck with abundance, positive energy, and high vibrations. All right, yeah. And let's just ground our energy with a singing bowl. And this is actually, then this bowl is the note of F, which is the note that resonates with the heart chakra. And heart chakra, the heart chakra has been on my mind. Heart healing, healing of the heart chakra, clearing, opening up of the heart. We all need, I feel like we all need some extra love, given the current state of the world. So okay, so thanks for joining. I'm going to ask Spirit what healing and guidance the people of the United States of America need to receive most right now. Let's just get into it. I'll say a quick prayer. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Universe, my angels and guides, the highest spiritual beings of my ancestors, my higher self, and all divine entities who love me unconditionally. I call upon you for unconditional love, grace, compassion, healing, guidance, clarity, wisdom, assistance, support, and insight now. Thank you for blessing my work with the tarot, and thank you for allowing me to tap into the collective energy of the people of the United States of America. Spirit, I ask that you allow me to receive clear, concise, accurate, 100% truthful, specific messages so that I may relay these messages to the collective so that they may continue to live their lives in alignment with their highest good in service of the greatest good. I open up to receive the healing and guidance we need most right now. Spirit, please tell me what healing and guidance do the people of the United States of America need to receive most right now? What healing and guidance do we need to receive most right now? What healing and guidance do the people of the United States of America need to receive most right now? What healing and guidance do we need to receive most right now? Mm. Wow. So I'm working with the Dust to Onyx deck, which is a beautiful deck created by, I believe her name is Tiffany, by an artist, an African American woman artist. Um, the overall energy of this reading is Papa Gourd, which in the traditional tarot would be the King of Cups. So I feel like emotions, obviously, emotions are high right now, right? But this journey that we're on as a collective and individually is a journey that's emotionally charged. But there's something about this King of Cups, this Papa Gourd, that feels so full of love, but so full of love, so full of emotion. Um, but he's also self-aware. Um, he's aware of his emotions, in tune with his emotions. He feels his emotions. He isn't ruled by his emotions. He sees everything so clearly. And from the outside looking in, it may appear as though this energy has an element of skepticism. But it isn't skepticism. There's just a pierce. I think we're at a piercing moment right now. And although we've gotten here, we've been led here by the emotional stirring that's all been happening for each of us on an internal level. Like there's birth to something new, something pure to the core. So really it's not new, it's more of a return to the self, this inner journey that has now manifested in an external way. I'm just so drawn to his eyes. Look at the eyes in this card. These eyes are piercing. So seeing through the emotion, right? Seeing through this sea of emotional charge, this emotional intensity that we're all experiencing right now. And again, with heightened emotion, there's fire, there's rage, there's passion, there's anger. There's a lot of masculine energy here. There's a lot of masculine energy here. And we've all, the influence of our culture, it takes on this masculine energy. Think of the masculine versus the feminine. The masculine is aggressive. Masculine energy takes action. It's assertive. It's the doer, right? Whereas the feminine energy is soft and about reception. But there is this, from a critical standpoint, you might judge feminine energy as passive, but we are, whether you judge it as passive or not, it's not passive. Feminine energy is the energy of of manifestation, right? But right now we've reached a point where we can no longer be passive. We can no longer wait and see. We can no longer be receptive and just be stagnant within the mess of the status quo. And so now, by way of being ruled by our emotions or being triggered, having our emotions triggered, we have now been struck into this state of taking action because of the discord, The first card out is the Papa Staff. And Papa Staff in the traditional tarot would be the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, he is assertive. He does take action. He is fueled by his passion, by his anger, by his rage, right? Fueled by it, not controlled by it, though. The King of Wands is assertive, right? He's strategic. It's like the more rage, the more passion, the more fire that is lit within your core, the more clearly you can see through everything, through the bullshit. And this is the state that we're currently in, or that we're moving into if we're not already there. And that brings conflict. It brings confrontation. It brings this energy of it's messy. It's like a clusterfuck. Everybody, like, there's so much dissatisfaction and nobody's happy, right? The next card out is the Five of Wands, the Five of Staff, which is the Five of Wands. And this is conflict. We're in the midst of conflict. There is no turning back. There's no being passive. There's no being inactive. In this card, everybody wants to take action. This is the card of having too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Everybody has their say, or feels like they have to be heard. Everybody's willing to fight. It's time to fight. I intuitively feel like this lack of organization, this lack of structure. And if you notice in the card, they're all lined up in a row. So there is some element of structure, although look at the chaos around them. They're lined up in a row. But if you notice the wands, or the hint of wands that surround them, this is complete disarray. They're in the midst of this complete disarray. But it all serves a purpose. It all serves a purpose. And the purpose is to find the land of milk and honey, the land of abundance, the goal, the common goal for everyone is in fact the Nine of Coins, which in the traditional tarot is the Nine of Pentacles. So this is the energy. This is the energy of building, of having built, having put in the work, and collecting the rewards, collecting money. I mean, coins, the pentacles represent tangible things that are tangible: money, financial abundance, material abundance, energy, something that you've been working towards, very practically speaking. And so in the midst of this taking action and and experiencing this discord and this friction and this conflict, notice how everyone who's lined up in this Five of Staff card is looking toward the Nine of Pentacles energy. This is what we want. That is the common goal. And I mean, capitalism is just coming through so strongly right now. But beyond money, I do feel like, notice how the figure in this Nine of Coins, she's just completely unbothered, unaffected. So I do feel like the guidance here is to remain in this energy of, first of all, focused, grounded, cultivating that inner abundance. And I do feel, I've been feeling this energy for a while. I do feel like people who have been doing the work, now is our time. We are being rewarded energetically by the universe, by the divine. So yes, there is so much. I mean, look at this contrasting energy right here. there's a lot of shit happening in the world, a lot of conflict, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of negative energy. But the people who've been doing the work energetically, spiritually, emotionally, practically speaking, the people who have been building, all of a sudden we've reached this state where there is ease, or there's like this element of thriving in the midst of so much chaos. And Spirit is urging, if you happen to be in that group of people who are thriving right now, who are able to maintain that inner abundance and remain unaffected, unbothered, and that's not to say you lack empathy. That is to say that you realize the difference between feeling for something and your own energy. You realize the difference. You can discern between your own personal energy and the energy that surrounds you. If you're in that group of people, you either are currently experiencing or seeing this shift in paradigm where you are maybe in the past you've been considered, a victim or a loser. You're winning now. And if you aren't winning, if you maintain this vibe, if you keep a clear mind, if you keep building, keep focusing, you will enter that shift. You will enter that energetic shift if you haven't already entered it. Energy is fluid and it harnesses in our lives in different ways. So some people may be experiencing that now. Some people may have already started to experience that, or for some people it's in the near future. And I do believe we are in for a blessing, a surprise, something. Okay, so the next card is the Sun in reverse. So the Sun in reverse can be an element of surprise, right? The reward, the gift, the blessing that God sent we didn't see coming. And I do believe this is in store. The surprise is in store for those who continue to maintain their spiritual hygiene, maintain their energetic hygiene, maintain their inner abundance, that light, unaffected by, who are able to maintain their own energy in the midst of all of this energy that's surrounding us right now. There will be an element of surprise, a reward. But this is also, for some, disillusionment. Or no, not disillusionment. It's a state of being, not seeing the truth, not having clarity, not maybe even disappointment. It could absolutely be pain. A lot of us are suffering right now. A lot of us are suffering right now, and that there's no glossing over that. And there is a lot of stress here, right? And I did mention something about birth or rebirth. There are so many nines on this board. I can't ignore that. So the energy of the numerological energy of the number 9 is completion or approaching completion. We are, like I said, we're at the pinnacle of everything that's been happening energetically and very in this 3D world, like very in a practical sense. I mean, the second wave is here. And so there's that. And then with all of this social injustice being raised, like coming up to the surface, and people fighting for equality and fighting for not just their own equality, but people fighting for the equality of the oppressed when they don't even belong to that group. This is a genuine, this is a fight. This is a fight. But we've reached the end, or we're approaching the end of the old paradigm, where the rules that once applied to everybody but the select few, but the fortunate, that's ending. Which is why there's so much resistance, because they can feel that it's ending, and they want to fight They need to fight to hold on. They feel like they need to fight to survive, but there is no, if you choose to remain in the old ways, if you choose to refuse to shift into this new state of the world, into the new world, you're in for a rude awakening, because there are so many nines here. It's like the end is near. So at the heart of the reading is the 9 of blades, the 9 of swords. Again, the number 9, approaching the end, approaching completion, approaching the end of this karmic cycle. And this is causing a lot of grief, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety for a lot of people. And depending on where you are, whether I'm assuming if you're watching me, you're listening to this message because you need to receive it. And this is your reminder to stay in your abundant space, to do the work, to continue doing the work, to maintain your energetic hygiene, your spiritual hygiene, your emotional hygiene, your mental hygiene, right? Cherish that. Covet that. Because you can either, when you do that, you'll remain in that space. Or if you don't, if you choose not to, if you continue to ignore what's going on, if you continue to deny the truth of the reality, you will remain in the 9 of swords energy. What we resist persists. 9 is so significant here. And we're going to see some ultimate changes by the time September comes around. So in the next couple of months, because we're in July right now, I do feel like September will be a significant month for people. I don't know what that means for this country. Somehow September will be a significant month. So following the 9 of blades is the 2 of gourds, the 2 of cups. And this is beautiful energy, because we all know what the 2 of cups is in the traditional tarot. It can be soulmate energy, twin flame energy, and soulmate energy could be it could be relationships, romantic, but it could also be platonic. It could be some sort of partnership, right? But if you notice how this card, the image is depicted, here's a person above their head, they're holding on top of their head a cup that's overflowing with water, and water represents love and emotion, creativity, right? Creative energy. But notice there are hands coming from the divine, pouring a cup directly into this cup that's being balanced on this person's head. These are downloads. Oh, thank you. These are downloads. This is the connection. This is alignment with spirit, alignment with your higher self. And look at that jewel. Your gift is your third eye, is your intuition. Water also represents, water rules in our intuition. So, and it's so beautiful how this 2 of cups is aligned right underneath the 9 of pentacles. So this energy here, maintaining that inner peace, that inner abundance, doing the work, your gift, your reward is alignment with your higher self, alignment with the divine, alignment with the blessings, the downloads, the information that will continue to come, the miracles, the blessings that the divine will continue to shower you with, just pour right into you. This is coming into alignment with yourself, right? Balancing out that masculine and feminine energy. I started this reading talking about the difference between the masculine and the feminine energy. And we are in the midst of finding balance, because beyond masculine, beyond feminine, there is only the divine. The divine is genderless. And we too must become centered within our being, right? That is that. I mean, when you think about it on an energetic level, that is on a spiritual level, that is genderless. We are all just beams of light. Whew, I'm getting really hot, guys. Right. But in order to find that centering, that alignment, and maintain that inner abundance, that work, stay focused on the work and what you're building for yourself, what we're building for our country, protection is necessary. And again, a number 9, the 9 of staffs, so the 9 of wands. The 9 of wands, protection. We are divinely protected. And this journey, this path, this shift is divinely protected. It's happening. Again, with all the 9s, 9 represent completion. We are about to birth something new. A new world, a new paradigm, a new shift, like a new cycle. Right? And it is divinely protected. I can't help notice the energy of this card. In the traditional tarot, the 9 of wands, I was going to say the 9 of wards. That's interesting. It's like a ward protecting something, right? That's exactly what the image depicts in a way. But the 9 of wands in the traditional tarot is the wounded warrior. It's a very heavy wounded energy. But in this card, it looks quite celebratory. So it's important for us to remember that what is ours is ours. It's ours because it was assigned to us by the divine. Nobody and no thing can inhibit that or prevent that or block it. Sometimes we may get rerouted on our journeys, but even in the reroute, there's still a purpose, there's still a function, there are still blessings, there are still lessons. At the end of the day, what is ours is ours. It's our birthright. So I don't necessarily know. Obviously, in doing the work, we establish our own protections, right? We develop discernment. We determine who and what is deserving of our energy, of our love, of our space, of sharing our space. But it's also important to remember that there's no need to feel defensive in that protection, because we have our angels, our guides, our ancestors protecting us as individuals, but also protecting the journey, protecting the shift, protecting the work that's already put in place. There's no stopping this. Everything's been put in motion already. The seeds have already been planted. Now is the time of harvest. So following the 9 of staffs is the Hermit in reverse. The Hermit in reverse. And this, to me, look at this image. It looks like a child being born. Look at that head just coming out of the canal of the universe. Isn't that beautiful? Again, a number 9. Again, 9. There are so many 9s. Okay, so the Hermit also is Virgo energy, right? And I said September is going to be a significant month. September, perhaps during Virgo season. Yeah. But the Hermit is in reverse. So we've done the work. And there have been, in doing the work, there has been a significant time of isolation, of feeling isolated, of reflection, right? The Hermit is a seeker. And in order to seek, he must go within. And so he withdraws from the external environment. He goes within on this journey. And then when he's ready to come out, he's experienced a shift in perspective, the shift in paradigm, a shift in he's experienced enlightenment. We are entering the time of enlightenment. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. We are entering a time of enlightenment. And with that is new birth. This is the young blade. The young blade, young energy. This isn't quite newness though. So the young blade in the traditional tarot, when I saw this card, I felt very Page of Swords energy, but this is actually the Knight of Swords. And look at this, look at his face. This Knight of Swords, there's a feeling of virtue. There's a feeling of virtue with this Knight of Swords, truth, authenticity. So once we're on this road of discovery, of building this of discovering, of returning to our authenticity, the true nature, the truth, clarity, wisdom. And when you recall the Knight of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck, this guy is charging on his horse, just righteously, self-righteously. There is no denying truth. There's a difference between facts, what's presented as fact, and then the truth, which is only determined really by the divinity within, right? We internally know what is true. Why? Because it's a feeling, because it resonates. When it's inauthentic, we can feel it. And now we're coming to a point where we're no longer accepting what is inauthentic, what feels inauthentic. We're denying that, we're rejecting that, and we are marching in our truth. So that is the message. That is the message that the divine would like for us to receive right now. Yeah, okay, I'm just reading your messages. Your aura is shining very bright. We need to protect each other. We do need to protect each other. Deep connection is coming. Yes, let's live it up. Let's create our own experiences without boundaries. Let's go crazy with wisdom and spontaneous energy. Yes, with virtue, right? So thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in. If you aren't following me, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can know when I'm sharing new videos or going live again. This has been such an honor. I am so grateful for you. And if this message resonated, please leave a comment below. I'm sending you so much love and light, and let's remember to continue to raise our voices, shine our light, and raise our voices until we are heard, says the young blade. Take care, guys.